Boy, and we live. B Marsh Boxing, what's happening, world? We back at it once again, man. Live and direct. I got the panel with me, and we about to do quarantine fantasy tournament 135, a glamour division, a division with a rich history that goes back well before the turn of the century. You know what I mean? From the 1800s, and this is gonna be a fun one, man. The last couple ones we did, the light heavyweight one was awesome. 140. Great divisions, great fighters, but we're going to come back at you live once again with some more fighters at 135, the best of the best. What's up, fellas? Go ahead, man. Say who you are on the channel and on the panel.
This Chris Caban with We Live Eat Sleep Boxing Facebook group. The live boxing groups on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you got Charlie Brown Boxing Media from the UK. And yeah, man.
Yes, indeed. Big up to Charlie Brown. Big ups to Chris Caban. We live, eat, sleep, boxing. All right, let me share this particular video. Let me share it on social media. You know what I mean? To Twitter. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, we back at it, man. Let me make sure. Let me get the list. Let me make sure I pop it up. Where that? Okay, there we go. All right, ladies and gents, here we go. You see the list right there. Top. We got a 1 through 16 seed, and we got the number one seed so far. We got Manos de Piedra, man from Panama, undisputed at 135. Man only lost one fight in the whole 1970s, and that's Roberto Duran versus another lightweight champion. Popular, very popular, one of the most popular Caucasian American fighters we've had in the last 40 years, you know what I mean? We talking about Ray Boom Boom Mancini from Youngstown, Ohio, WBA champion at 135 pounds. Let's get into it, man. How you see this popping off? Who wants to set it off?
I'll go first.
All right.
I think we're going to have a early night here. I'll see who's getting stopped in the first round.
Oh, Boom Boom Mancini.
But they in there with Duran at 125, which was another one.
Yes.
I think he might be killed in this fight.
He might be too what?
I think he might get hurt very bad early in this fight.
Yeah.
I see him on the ground shaking like booty meat.
Whew.
I got him early knockout.
Knockout for Roberto Duran. How many rounds you think?
I think it's not been past the first. With that Duran, not with that person. The Duran, the animal 135.
Yes.
And the way Boom Boom Mancini fight, I got Duran killing him. I think he's gonna get blasted out of here.
Yeah, it look like he'll do a better job than what Arguello did to him, right?
He's gonna get hurt worse than what Graham did. I see his daddy trying to get in the ring with Pop.
Yeah, man. His pops probably would be in tears, man. Okay, so what round you said? First round KO.
Yeah, I gotta get knocked out there first round.
I can dig it, man. Chris Caban places his vote. Boom Boom Mancini get knocked the F out in one round. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, I have to agree with Chris. Not, I don't think one round, but I think two. I give him two rounds. He'll get knocked out. Roberto Duran just too offensive. That's his best division, man. Lightweight, the best version of him.
Absolutely.
He was a killer at that weight, man.
Yes.
Ray Mancini was good. He was a good, granted. I don't think he had the enough defense to be able to last the distance with Duran, man. I see Duran knocking him out cold in the second round, man.
True. The same Boom Boom Mancini who killed the man. He killed that Korean dude at 135. Joku Kim or Doku Kim.
He was lethal, but he's not going to be able to do that to Duran, man. Duran moved his head. He moved his feet. He moved his feet too good.
And slipping punches in the pocket.
Yeah. Mancini gonna be the Korean dude in this fight.
He gonna be Doku Kim. Blood clot. Yeah, man. So you
It's
got
gonna
it.
be in the hands of Stone, man. I got Roberto Duran knocking him out in round two.
Hey, man. I agree with y'all, man. Charlie Brown places his vote second round knockout. I can't disagree with none of y'all, man. You know, Boom Boom Mancini, man. You know, 135, where he was at his best. You know what I mean? I've seen him Chacon. He beat the shit out of Bobby Chacon, and that was at lightweight. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think that's where he thought he had his swag right when he went up to fight man like Livingston Bramble. But a pressure fighter can beat Ray Boom Boom Mancini. And also, he doesn't have defense like that. He's an offensive style type of fighter, you know, punches and bunches. That's why I think what happened to Doku Kim, you know, because he was also a guy who couldn't crack an egg, just didn't have no tight defense. And I think Roberto Duran at 135 was very underrated with his defense, has hands of stone. And Ray Boom Boom Mancini, man, it would look worse than what Arguello did to him. You know, Arguello stopped him in the 14th viciously. I agree. Early round knockout, man. First or second round for Roberto Duran. You know what I mean? Stopping Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Okay, so Roberto Duran advances. Ray Boom Boom Mancini may go ahead and go back to Youngstown, Ohio, and contemplate if he wants to box again after fighting Duran. We gonna keep it moving. Number 2 seed, we got Sweepy, Norfolk, Virginia's own, undisputed also at 135. Pernell Whitaker, WBA, IBF, and WBC champ versus number 2. Ooh, Scotland's own, also undisputed. 135. Two members of the Hall of Fame. Just like the last one, Duran and Boom Boom Mancini are in the Hall of Fame. And we got two Hall of Famers meeting again. Pernell Whitaker, undisputed in the late 80s, versus early 70s, undisputed, Ken Buchanan from Scotland. How you see it, Chris Caban?
I got I'm gonna go with Pernell Whitaker on points.
Okay. How's he gonna handle or break? How you see it happening, or break it down a little bit?
Got on points, but I think it's gonna be both pretty good boxers. But I think Pernell Whitaker a lot more quicker, better footwork, better defense. I think Kim Buchanan gonna get frustrated because he ain't gonna be able to find Pernell Whitaker at all. I got Pernell Whitaker probably. This is how many rounds is this fight?
Mm-hmm.
How many rounds is this fight?
This is a 15 rounder because they both fought in them 15-round eras.
I got 12-3.
Whoo! Wide.
I got a real wide because I seen both of them fight. I seen both of them fight. I see both of these guys fight. I just don't see him winning a lot of rounds because the way he fights, I don't see him winning a lot of rounds.
Yeah, he beat a boxer to become champ, Ishmael Laguna, a guy Carlos Ortiz used to fight against. But he was old. Yeah, he was old. He was also faded too, when Cam Buchanan got to him. Yep. So wide decision. Chris Caban places his vote. 9 rounds. How you said it? 12 rounds to 3 for Pernell Whitaker. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, I got it. The same, man. Unanimous decision for Pernell Whitaker. And I don't see Ken Buchanan winning a round, though. I think it's going to be 15, clean sweep, 15 rounds to none. I don't know how Ken Buchanan's going to find him. He was good, Ken Buchanan. If he was matched up against somebody else,
yeah,
then it would be different. But it's a bad matchup, man. The defense of Pernell Whitaker would be too much. However, I mean, he could make people miss Pernell and not always make people pay. But I don't think Ken Buchanan was the type of guy that would really, really go out of his way to go looking for Pernell, and he'd have to do that in this fight. I think the counter punches would be too much, and sometimes the combinations as well.
Yeah,
I got Pernell Whitaker unanimous decision, man. 15 rounds to none.
Ooh, wide decision for Sweepy versus Ken Buchanan for Charlie Brown places his vote, and my goal, I think Pernell Whitaker wins this fight as well, unanimous decision. I think Ken Buchanan is going to get frustrated trying to catch up with him, trying to double up, triple his jab, but the guy won't be there. You know what I mean? Um, the fight, I think Pernell Whitaker would evade and slip punches and slip in with the counter punches, the left hands, left shots to the body. You know what I mean? I think he'll get low and he'll be pot shotting the man, Ken Buchanan, to an easy wide decision as well. You know what I mean? I see him winning around at least, I see maybe Ken Buchanan winning 3 rounds, 2 rounds, maybe max. You know what I mean? But I think Pernell Whitaker's footwork is just a little quicker than Ken Buchanan. You know what I mean? Ken Buchanan can box. He had a very good jab. He throws some nice short range hooks, you know what I mean, on the inside and uppercuts. But I think Pernell Whitaker, excuse me, wouldn't be an easy target for him to hit, and he wouldn't just be there for Ken Buchanan just to catch up to him. You know what I mean? I think he's going to win also a wide decision. You know what I'm saying? Probably I don't know, 13 rounds to 2 or something like that. Wide decision. And the 2 rounds Ken Buchanan wins is because, I think Pernell Whitaker will be trying to take a break basically, you know what I mean, and maybe trying to entertain the crowd. You know what I mean? Staying on the inside. You remember how Sweepy used to do dumb shit trying to entertain the crowd? Sometimes finds himself on the canvas. You know what I mean? You remember when he used to do stuff like that, like guys, like against.
Put him in the headlock and backhand.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes the judges don't like stuff like that, so they'll dock him a point or two, even though it'll be a wide decision. They'll jock him a point or cause of showboating or horsing around. You know what I mean? But Sweet Pea wins it wide, in my opinion. So we all agree there. Wide decision for Pernell Whitaker.
I also can see Ken Buchanan getting mad and frustrated and violent.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, so Pernell Whitaker, damn. I guess I messed up kind of with how I wrote Pernell Whitaker. I wrote Pernell Williams rather than Pernell Whitaker. That's what came up maybe on the, you know how, what you call it, the auto type or whatever. All right, let's keep it moving, man. All right, number 3, we got Barney Ross. Barney Ross versus number 14, Joel Casamayor.
I'm gonna tell you what I think, because I'm watching both these guys fight.
Yeah.
Like I told you before, we was talking behind the scenes. I told you that I think Casamayor will have some trouble right here, man, because against practice fighters, he was still fighting that amateur style. Like he was like running and complaining to the referee. I think Barney Ross wins this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I got Barney Ross winning. I don't think Barney Ross will knock him out, but I got Barney Ross probably beat him. What's that white kid that almost beat? He lost to a match we was talking about earlier. What's that kid's name?
Who lost to who?
I said Castillo got beat by somebody, but they robbed the dude.
Oh yeah, that Mexican fighter. He was what was his name? Like Santa somebody. I forgot his name. Santa Cruz. It was a Santa Cruz or something. It was on the Mosley versus Cotto undercard. And dude won wide and even dropped Casamayor. I'm a Casamayor fan. He lost that fight bad.
Yeah, but I seen another fight when he was fighting the white guy. He ended up knocking him out later, but the white guy was winning some rounds.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't rate him at the weight class. Because, like, pressure fight, I got Barney Ross winning.
Ooh, Barney Ross. How you got him winning?
I got him winning by UD because Castillo, he didn't win that fight. I think he lost. He didn't let his hands go enough.
Yeah.
So I got that dude probably winning 9 rounds to 6.
Okay. A comfortable decision victory for Barney Ross. All right. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
Well, boy, this is a bad matchup, man. I like Joe Casamayor, but against Barney Russ, man. It's a guy who could fight. Definitely was a good pressure fighter. He's not going to give Casamaya any room to fit, any time to think, and any punching room.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna smother Casamaya, and just like Chris said, man, the complaining to the ref, all of that. Casamaya was good on the night against certain fighters when it really mattered. If you know what I'm saying, he had a good amateur career, good fundamentals. He was more of an ambassador for Cuba more than just being a real fully fledged champion. I got Barney Russ knocking him out in 3 rounds, man.
Ooh, Barney Russ by KO. Barney Russ ain't too much of a big puncher, but if he knocks out Casamaya, that'll be a massive. You should put some money on that one. You know what I mean?
But it's not impossible because that Santa Cruz dude wasn't a big punch either.
Yeah, that's true. And he put him on the canvas. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Charlie Brown has KO. What round you got him?
Round 3.
Round 3 KO. Ooh, Casamayor not even making it past the 3rd round. Well, look, man, Barney Ross is an all-time great fighter in many divisions. I think like 3 weight classes: 135, 147, and 140. I think Barney Ross is a tough, rough and rugged fighter who fights. He fights. He's a prideful fighter, just like Casamayor, you know. But Casamayor is a Cuban fighter, and I think his amateur background sometimes you just have to fight. You know what I mean? Like Lara versus Angulo. Fuck all that boxing shit. We're gonna fight. You know what I mean? And I think Casamayor, when it came to pressure fighters, like Chris said, man, he had problems with those guys. And I think the man Barney Ross would be all up on the inside and throwing punches in bunches. You know what I mean? And Barney Ross being a guy from New York, fighting for the Jewish community, he'd be very prideful, just like Casamayor fighting for the Cuban community. But I think Barney Ross would probably win all points. You know what I mean? I think Casamayor wins rounds as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Barney Ross just washes him. But I think it's going to be tough for Casamayor to keep pumping that jab and having lateral movement. He can't do that for 15 rounds versus this guy, Barney Ross. You know what I mean? Sooner than later, it's going to become a slugfest. And when it gets on the inside, I got the man Barney Ross winning. You know what I mean? I think he wins this fight 8 rounds to 7. You know what I mean? A close fight. Close fight. I think Casamayor wins some early rounds, you know what I mean? Boxing, using lateral movement, pumping his jab. And the Casamayor, remember, is also a dirty fighter too. And I think he's gonna throw some low blows. He's gonna do some dirty stuff. That's what he do. You know what I mean? And I was a big Casamayor fan. I hate when people try to say Floyd Mayweather ducked Casamayor. I know the true story. None of those guys at 130 who went up to 135 wanted any parts to do with Floyd. They'd rather fight each other, like Freitas, Casamayor, and Corrales and Castillo. Although Castillo and Corrales, they fought Floyd, but I gotta give it up to Barney Ross as well. He advances, you know what I mean, on a close fight, but I think it's a clear victory for Barney Ross, unanimous decision. All right, so Casamayor, I'm not going to be racist like Steve Kim. I seen Steve Kim write a tweet. He said, this is what he said. He said, I like Gamboa, but all the other Cubans, put him back on a raft and send him back to Havana. Ain't that some racist shit?
Yeah.
That's fucked up, he said that. I'm not even going to say that about Casamayor. I'm just going to say, Casamayor, enjoy the good Cuban food in Miami. You know what I'm saying? All right. All right, where we at? Number 4. Oh, number 4, we got the first African-American champion in any weight class ever. And also a father of modern-day boxing style, especially the jab. Not that put up your Duke shit. Man incorporated the jab into his offensive package, and he's a pioneer, and there's a legend. Joe Gans from Baltimore, Maryland, versus a tough, rough, and rugged former sparring partner of Julio Cesar Chavez turned champion, 2-time lightweight champion, Jose Luis Castillo. How you see this happening, Chris?
Well, this fight, I got this fight. This fight gonna end in a knockout though.
Woo! Okay.
I don't know. I got it. It can go either way, but I think a little bit because what my guy had good head movement. Castillo, he gave Floyd a little bit of trouble. He can fight.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be. I think Gans can win, but I don't think it will be no dominating performance. I got this shit probably cool. No, I ain't gonna get him knocked out. I ain't got no knockout in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna change my opinion. I ain't got no knockout in this fight. I'm gonna go with probably Gans squeaking it out in a split decision.
Yeah. Joe Gans can crack, man. Got 100 knockouts in like 196 fights.
Yeah, but them guys want to fight like that too. But I'm the gloves were different too.
Yeah.
But I'm taking a lot of that into account too because he can come into mine there. He gonna get cracked too.
Well, if a man like Joe Gans is even wearing modern gloves, I think he'd even be more dangerous. That's like giving a kid from Africa who be running with no shoes. You give him some nice Nike Air Maxes, man, they gonna win gold medals. Fellas from Kenya.
I don't think, but his opponents, I don't think like the skill level.
Yeah.
Castillo, talent, skill wise, probably his hardest opponent.
Yeah. True indeed.
Yeah, I'm taking all that into account, so I got UD.
Okay, unanimous decision.
I pick fights. So some guys automatically, when they put a Hall of Fame, they automatically got the Hall of Fame winning, but they don't take a lot of things into account.
Mm-hmm. Okay, unanimous decision.
I got it a close fight. Split D.
Okay. How you see it, Charlie? Chris Caban placed his vote. How you see it?
Man, B-Mush, you done this tournament is some bad matchups here, you know. Man, I got Castillo, man. I got Castillo winning unanimous decision, man.
Ooh, Castillo.
Yeah, I know he's got a lot of. I know Joe Gans is, but it's just the time difference, man. Castillo was pretty good. He did push Floyd to the wire.
Yeah.
I know Floyd won both times.
Yes.
I don't think he beat Floyd, but he definitely pushed Floyd to the wire. This guy can box. He can fight. When them guys really, they didn't really have that style of movement. Like you say, he's the kind of one of the pioneers of the jab and that. Castillo, Castillo's too modern, man. This is a bad matchup.
He had that turn of the century jab.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I got Castillo winning, man. A technical knockout in the 15th. I don't think Joe Gans gets knocked out or knocked down, but I could see the ref stopping the fight.
Okay.
15th round, like a barrage of combinations, man. I got Castillo winning that, man. It's still a bad matchup.
All right, hold on one sec, man. For some reason, my live stream's saying it's only been running for 2 minutes, and it's only been running for 2 minutes. Hold on, let me check on YouTube. What's really going on? Because the joint. Okay. Looks like everything went fine. I'm just checking on the replay, but it kind of froze for a sec, right? And then it froze for a sec, and then I restarted it. Then it came back. Now it's saying only 2 minutes and 50. We've been only talking for 2 minutes 50 seconds. But when I listened to the live stream, when I checked it on YouTube, it looks like we've been talking for 20-something minutes. So, hey, let's just keep it moving, man. At the end of the day, it's a bracket, and we always going to do a recap of every round before, you know what I'm saying, before we proceed to the next round. So you see, you got it by, how you got it again, Charlie? KO?
TKO.
On what? Cuts or something?
TKO. You know where you're still on your feet?
Uh-huh.
You're getting a barrage of punches and the referee stops it.
Okay. I can, Castillo, man, that man could punch too. That man, you see, he got like 50 something KOs in 60 something fights. So, cause I remember when he was fighting guys like Floyd, and every fight he had won, he had a KO. Only fights he didn't have KO were losses. You know what I mean? So when he get in there, he's going for the knockout. You know what I mean? And this is a tough one right here, man. Jose Luis Castillo ain't no joke. That's why he's on this list. You know what I mean? And man, this is a tough one. Joe Gans, like I said, is the pioneer of the modern day jab. You know what I mean? Charlie Brown made a good point. These guys were a little stiff, but Charlie Brown, I'm sorry, what's his name, can fight on the inside as well. Joe Gans, you know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a tough fight, very close, man.
Yeah, what happened?
Y'all still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough fight, man. It's not a easy pickings for either guy. But I think I'm gonna also go with Castillo, man. I think I'm gonna go with Castillo. I think if a guy like Castillo can push Floyd at 135, not a blown up welterweight Floyd, but a 135 prime Floyd, and can push him the limit. And Floyd had also a bad shoulder. You know what I mean? I think Castillo could probably nick out a close victory versus Joe Gans. But Joe Gans also is a guy who fought in battle royals with guys were blindfolded, and you got to fight till the death. Where they were putting only Negroes, where the white man would put the Negroes in a battle royale for a few dollars, and whoever wins is the champion, and you might have to kill somebody. So he's a tough dude as well. I mean, this is a very good matchup. I'm just gonna have to go with Castillo, to be honest. You know what I mean? Even though Joe Gans is a tough, rough and rugged fighter, great fighter, first African American champion. You know what I mean? I think Jose Luis Castillo is a good fighter. He was beating Casamayor. I'm not Casamayor, Corrales, till he got caught in the 12th round. You know what I mean? Not the 12th round. Sorry, the 10th round. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta give it up to Castillo winning a very close, controversial fight. Probably could have gone either way, just like the Floyd fight. But Castillo this time gets the nod from the judges. Split decision, 8 rounds to 7, in favor of the man Jose Luis Castillo. Yes, indeed. So Joe Gans unfortunately doesn't advance. He goes back to Baltimore. Jose Luis Castillo is going up the ranks. Okie doke. So at number 5, we got the Puerto Rican legend, champion in 2 weight classes, lightweight and 140. Carlos Ortiz, one of the greatest fighters at 135, versus another fellow Puerto Rican, but more of American, a New York Rican, in Hector Macho Camacho at 135 pounds. How you see this one happening, Chris?
Okay. Is this fight held in Puerto Rico?
Why not? Why not? Not Madison Square Garden. Let's do it in Puerto Rico.
Well, we know everybody's cheering. Well, all the people gonna be cheering for Ortiz, man.
Oh shit! If we do it in Madison Square Garden, they'll probably be rooting for it's Macho time.
Being Puerto Rico, Camacho on the island wasn't real with speed because of his style, the way he fight.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at him and he run too much. That's why they looked when I was growing up. That's how they looked at him.
Right.
As I was growing up, I used to hear from the old heads that Ortiz was like the greatest Puerto Rican fighter of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'm looking at fights. I think Camacho would have trouble with Ortiz.
Yeah.
Because Camacho was another guy sort of similar to Castillo in some ways with the pressure fight. But he had feet also. He had a little bit better feet than Castillo.
Yes.
But I'm looking to go back to Edwin Rosario fights and fights like that, man. I don't know if he beats Ortiz, man. I got Ortiz winning on the points.
Ortiz winning on points. How you see it? Wide, close decision. How many rounds you give each fighter?
I think it's gonna be 9 rounds to 6 for Ortiz because I think watching because I mean Camacho's gonna be covering up too much. Try playing it safe, trying not to get knocked out.
Mm-hmm. True indeed.
Ortiz win.
All right. Chris Caban places his vote. How you see it, Charlie?
Oh man, this is a bad matchup again. I picked the guy with the same first name as me, man. And that's Carlos Ortiz. You know what I mean? This is a legend, man. I mean, Camacho was good.
Yeah.
Respect to him and all. But like Chris said, I don't think I wouldn't say he was a runner like that. He was just very cautious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was very cautious too. Yeah, he was a bit too hesitant for me. Carlos Ortiz, he was the kind of guy. Yeah, he'd come looking for you, man, as well. You know, he could box as well.
Yeah.
I got him stopping Camacho, man. And again, I reckon about round 12, he'll start to wear him down. Ortiz was the full package, man. He wasn't just a boxer, you know.
Yeah.
And he wasn't just a puncher. I know some people, if you ask, it depends what generation of Puerto Rican you ask. Some would say he was more offensive-minded and thin, but he could do both. He was the complete package, man. I got Ortiz. Stopping him. Again, technical knockout. Round 12.
12th round stoppage for Carlos Ortiz over Puerto Rican, New York Rican Hector Camacho. Charlie Brown places his vote. Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna agree with you guys, man. Just off the strength, the guy's inside game. I don't think Mancini would be able. Camacho would be able to withstand that pressure, you know. And Camacho, I was a big fan of his. He was one of my favorite fighters growing up. One thing about Camacho, the running and the lateral movement, just unnecessary movement, cost him in big fights. You can't fight the way he fought that running style when you fight. That's why he lost to the Trinidad's, to the what's the other guy, Jose Julio Cesar Chavez and Oscar De La Hoya. In big fights, man, you gotta stand your ground as well. You know what I mean? And you don't have to stand right in front of a man like Julio Cesar Chavez, but you would have thought with the movement and the boxing technique he had, he would give Julio Cesar Chavez problems. But no, he was running all night. And Chavez could cut off the ring just like Carlos Ortiz. I think Carlos Ortiz gets on the inside, man, and it's going to be a run fest and a hug fest in favor of the man, Hector Camacho. Camacho ain't going to be knocked out. He's going to clinch for life. He's going to make it boring. He's going to be like, he's going to concede. He might lose almost every round. But just as long as he stays on his feet, I see him losing a wide decision. Um, 12 rounds to 3, something like that. Carlos Ortiz pressures just too much to the point where Camacho would just be holding on for dear life and running and not engaging and trying to really put the hurting on this guy. He might do a little shoe shine punches here and there, but that ain't going to get it done against a pressure fighter like this guy right here, Mr. Carlos Ortiz. So I got him winning a wide decision, 12 rounds to 3. Carlos Ortiz beats Hector Camacho. He moves on. All right, where we at? Next up, we got number 6. Number 6, we got Ike Williams. Great fighter from the 1940s, undisputed fighter, lightweight, a champion for many years. I think he held them titles for like 6 years, you know what I mean? Very good fighter from the 40s versus another Hall of Famer like himself, El Chapo Rosario, a guy from Puerto Rico. How you see this one happening, Chris?
I'm gonna tell you another reason why everybody had Ortiz winning. Look at the Rosario and Camacho fight.
Yeah.
But this fight been totally different. I got Ike beating on Rosario.
Uh-huh.
Because Rosario, he was good in some spots, but he make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got, I think even the Howard Davis fight, because I thought he made that fight too close to call.
Yeah.
But I got Ike Williams probably by, it could be a stop too. I don't know. I'm going to go by the good stuff. I got Ike Williams at that.
Bum points, how many?
Probably 9 rounds to 6.
9 rounds to 6. All right, Chris Caban places his vote. He got the great Ike Williams beating El Chapo. How you see it, Charlie Brown? Charlie Brown, how do you see this one?
Sorry about that, man.
No problem.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just muted that. Ike Williams, you said, yeah?
Yes, indeed. He's the number 6 seed versus the 11th seed, El Chapo Edwin Rosario. 2 Hall of
Edwin
Famers.
Rosario.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. You've picked some matchups for here, I tell you. They're kind of clear cut the way you've picked it, you know.
Yeah, I tried to rank them basically from who I think's the number 1 best from 1 through 16.
Yeah. Just say, yeah, I got Ike Williams, man. Well, Ike Williams, man. 10 rounds to 5, unanimous decision.
Okay.
Yeah, that's being respectful to Rosario. You know, it's just a bad matchup, that one.
Okay.
There's no way he's beating Ike Williams. No way.
Yeah, man. Ike Williams a tough SOB, man, from Georgia, down south.
Yeah.
So a tall guy for lightweight. He was about 5'9".
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I said I can't think of no way. I can't. I'm being fair to Rosario, giving him 6 rounds. No, what did I say? 10 rounds, giving him 5 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie Brown got it 10 rounds to 5. Unanimous decision for Ike Williams. If I place my vote, I gotta give it up to the man Ike Williams, man. I think he stops El Chapo, man. Like Chris said, El Chapo does make some silly mistakes, and El Chapo, some may consider him chinny. You know, that was always the thing about El Chapo. You know what I mean? El Chapo also didn't rely too much on the straight right hand, which was his patented punch, his trademark punch. You know, and that's why a man like what's his name, Hector Camacho, was circling the guy, staying away. He was staying away from that straight right hand. You know what I mean? And if you can do that, you can frustrate the guy. And his cutting off the ring skills were not quite the best. You know, and Ike Williams, he wouldn't have to cut off the ring. Look, we've seen a pressure fighter like Julio Cesar Chavez versus Edwin Rosario, and how he put the pressure on him from round 1, from when the bell rang. If it's an inside fight, and I believe Ike Williams will be on the inside all night, he's going to stop him in probably 7 to 8 rounds. You know, I think that's just the style. El Chapo likes to keep a distance, master of distance and range, so he can throw that straight right hand down the pipe. You know what I mean? But he won't be able to throw short, straight right hands because the guy's going to be all up in his chest, Ike Williams. You know what I mean? And the guy from the 40s, the lightweight champion. El Chapo is a three-time lightweight champion. But the 3 times he's lost, you know, he should have won them fights, you know what I mean? You know, he lost to Jose Luis Ramirez, a guy he had beat before, and he lost to him in the rematch. The guy whom he lost to, the Nazario guy, what's the guy's name? Juan Nazario, who Pernell Whitaker knocked out in 1 round. El Chapo had beat this guy before. Then they do a rematch, he loses to him. So he wasn't quite consistent. Then that Japanese dude knocked him out at 140 in like one round. I gotta give it up to Ike Williams, man. Ike Williams, and I like El Chapo. Rest in peace. I was a big fan of his. But I think Ike Williams advances, and El Chapo has to go home, man. All right, so that's the first round. You know what I mean? First round. Let's do a first round recap, just in case this joint did cut off, and for whatever reason we got Roberto Duran beating Boom Boom Mancini, one at number 1 and 16 seed, number 2 and 15.
Hold up.
Yeah.
We didn't do Dave Mosley and Marquez.
Holy shit, I'm bugging, man. I'm tripping. Sorry, man. I didn't even see that. The way I'm looking at it, because Ike Williams and Edwin Rosario were at the bottom, I thought that was the end. You're absolutely right, man. Thanks a lot, Chris. Big up. All right. Ooh, number 8. We got some modern day fighters. Guys, we've seen fight in the last 10 years or even less, you know what I mean? We got none other than, and I think if I, no, I don't, no.
We got another one as well. We got Armstrong and Lomachenko as well. We haven't done
Yeah,
that.
that's the one I'm supposed to do next, actually. Thanks, man. Thanks, Charlie Brown. I'm tripping, man. Let's get into it. Number 7, we got Henry Armstrong, Homicide Hank, versus the Matrix, or High Tech, Vasil Lomachenko, unified at 135 versus the undisputed champion at 135. Held in 3 titles simultaneously. Could have held 4. Henry Armstrong. How you see it, Chris?
I got Henry Armstrong probably by stopping. That damn form is he wouldn't even be able to get that on his footwork. He wouldn't be able to spin him on Henry Armstrong. Henry Armstrong would have been on him. The way he let his hands go, I had him beating Lomachenko out there.
Ooh, Lomachenko.
He might get stopped in this fight.
If what?
He might get stopped in this fight, man. He got dropped by certain guys. This guy, man, I don't know. That's a bad pick. This is just a bad pick, B-Marsh. He just landed in the wrong spot.
Yeah, well, hey, man. Vasil Lomachenko, some people say he's an all-time great. Some say he's the best boxer they've ever seen in their lifetime. I've heard them say this, man. So if they're gonna say that, he's gonna have to fight against a legitimate top 5 dead or alive guy in boxing, period.
Yeah, but in this match, I think this fight that's all wrong for him. I got him getting stopped at 8.
Oh, 8th round stoppage. So is it a knockout? Will Vasil Lomachenko be on his back or face down on the canvas or stopped on his feet?
Throw in the crowd. They gonna throw in the towel.
Hey, his pops ain't gonna want to see that no more, right?
Yeah, he gonna take a beating in this fight, bro.
So you think the pops will throw in the towel too late or in good time? Because in good time. All right, 8th round stoppage for Henry Homicide Hank, hammering Hank. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, this is a bad matchup, man. Henry Armstrong at lightweight he learned to box, and he got quicker. That swarming style, the way he would just stick to you like glue.
Yeah.
Literally, he would smother you, swarm, move his head. This is like the original Mike Tyson. However, I think probably Mike Tyson's head movement at times was better, and Mike Tyson was quicker. He had quicker feet. Yeah. Henry Armstrong's too powerful at lightweight, man. The way he smothers guys, the way he pushes you back onto the ropes. Lomachenko, even with the footwork, I'm sorry, man, that's going to be a fight he's not going to like, man. I see this fight, I see Henry Armstrong stopping him. And I see him stopping him in round 10. And for those people that say he's the best fighter they've ever seen, they need to watch other fighters, of past and present, I think a lot of people that say that, I'm not going to be honest, it's kind of like the great white hype thing.
Yeah.
Vasyl Lomachenko as well is dark. He's a dark-skinned Ukrainian. He's you know what I mean? He's ethnic to some degree. So I don't know why they, you know, if they want an Aryan hero, they're just looking at the wrong person. You know what I mean? I think those people who say that are race baiting, I'm going to be honest. But, you know, let's keep it boxing. Henry Armstrong, he swarms Lomachenko. No punching room's going to be given to Lomachenko at all. And he's going to give him hell, man. Hell for 10 rounds. 10 rounds of a real beat down. And, yeah, I see him just knocking him out cold in round 10. I think he might go out on a stretcher in that one.
Ooh, 10th round knockout for Homicide Hank. Alrighty, Charlie Brown places his vote. 10th round knockout. I see it going the same way, man. You know, I seen Orlando Salido, a pressure fighter, who ain't even close to Henry Armstrong's level. I seen him pressure the shit out of Lomachenko, you know what I mean? And let's say Lomachenko has improved and gotten better. He hasn't fought since a pressure fighter like Orlando Salido ever since that particular fight. And he hasn't. He's fought in some boxers. He's fought in some guys who are late bloomers in boxing like Jason Sosa. You know, he's fought in Linares, who's a quick boxer with the quick hand speed, but also a guy who can, you know, who cuts easy or has been, every loss he has is by KO. You know, Vasyl Lomachenko's a great fighter and he has very good footwork. But, man, he ain't fucking with Homicide Hank. Homicide Hank will probably, I think he stops him in 4 rounds. You know what I mean? I think he stops him in 4, probably before he even ends up laid out on his back. I think his pops will throw in the towel or the referee. It's just going to be a barrage of punches. You know, I think Henry Armstrong ain't going to be trying to box with Vasyl Lomachenko. He's going to be the definition of his style. He's going to be swarming, and he's going to be on top of Lomachenko all night. You know what I mean? You know, he's going to crouch low, use his jab, throw it to the stomach, overhand rights, get on the inside, sweeping left hooks. It's going to be a bad night for Vasyl Lomachenko, man. Vasyl Lomachenko is going to go back to Ukraine. Sad with his pops, but I think his pops is going to be, you know, they're going to do the right thing, and, you know, they ain't going to let that fight go on any longer, man. It's just a bad style matchup. It's going to look like it's going to be stopped like how Vasyl Lomachenko and Rigondeaux fought. You know what I mean? Only difference is Vasyl Lomachenko is going to get hurt bad. You know what I mean? That's how I just see it. Henry Armstrong is too much. I got him knocking him out or stoppage, TKO stoppage in the 5th round for Henry Armstrong. Okay, Henry Armstrong advances. Vasyl goes home. Number 8 and the number 9 matchup. 2 guys in the Hall of Fame. Juan Manuel Marquez versus El Dinamita. Juan Manuel Marquez versus Sugar Shane Mosley. How you see it, Chris Caban?
I think this is also another bad matchup for Marquez. I mean, Marquez was like, when he got the lightweight, he kind of changed his style, reverted to being like a fan-friendly fighter. He wanted to showcase he can brawl.
Yeah.
But I got and I think that would be the wrong fight to fight at this weight class. Like, look at the fight he had with at lightweight with Juan Diaz. He can't do that with Shane Mosley. Look at the fight he had with the guy that he raised, Michael Castillo, put him on the ground.
Yes, sir. He did.
I got Mosley knocking this guy out in the 5th round, bro.
Juan Manuel Marquez.
And he had speed, bro. Mosley was like a devastating puncher with his weight class.
Yeah, he was.
And I think Marquez will try to prove a point and fight the wrong fight.
You don't think Mosley would be drained at 135?
Nah, not when he was at. We're going by how he was, right? Y'all got to go with Mosley, man. Mosley. I felt Mosley could have stayed up there. Mosley went to chase the money, bro. That's why he left.
Well, Mosley used to say, why he went to 147 because it was hard making weight at 135. He said when he's not training for a fight at 135, he can dunk a basketball. Oh, I'm sorry, grab the rim. He can run and grab the rim. But when he loses weight to make weight for a 135-pound fight, he couldn't grab the rim. He ain't have no legs.
Well, I'm gonna still go with what I seen. The way I seen him fight, I'm gonna go with Mosley by knockout.
Okay. What round?
Yeah, I got him about fifth. If I don't see him taking that many punches, he ain't gonna take Terry Mosley punches like for 12.
Yeah.
Hell no, I got him fifth. Fifth round knockout.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fifth round knockout for Shane Mosley knocking out his contemporary Juan Manuel Marquez. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
This is a hard one, man, because Mosley, although he was a killer at lightweight,
Mm-hmm.
he never faced nobody like Marquez, man.
No.
Now, but Chris made an interesting point. Marquez was a marauding fighter at 135.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Is this the best of both, or them at 135?
We're talking about them at 135, both of them.
Then I had to go with Mosley, man. But nah, actually, nah. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm gonna keep it real. Just for the sake that I can't really. That's a bit silly. That's a bit silly, really, because at some point he's gonna box. Marquez is gonna counter, and he's gonna time. Nah, man, I got Marquez winning it. A split decision, man. 8 rounds to 7. Because I've always rated Mosley at lightweight. He was a killer, and he knocked out a lot of people, man. But he never faced anybody like Marquez, man.
No.
And I gotta be honest, even if it is them at 135, he still boxed at 135, but just not often. But I gotta go with Marquez, man. He's the better boxer, and I think he'll find some way, even if his nose is broken, even if he's bleeding. I see, like, if he has to let his hands go, he's not knocking out Mosley, because Mosley's too strong at that weight class.
Yeah.
But Mosley at lightweight didn't have the fundamentals he did later on. It's like he got better later on, even when he lost in some against Forrest and that. Like, he got better fundamentals as he rised up. He used to spar Oscar De La Hoya, but at lightweight he was just, his mindset was just, I'm better than everybody. I'm Sugar Shane.
Pound for pound.
I see Marquez seriously outboxing him, but I'm just going to be respectful of the power and the size of him. Yeah, I got Marquez winning that, causing an upset, man. 8 rounds to 7, split decision.
Whew. Ooh, I like that. 8 rounds to 7 split decision for Marquez. So I'm gonna have to be the tiebreaker, man. This is a hard fight to call. Um, look, man. Marquez, man. Like, he changed his style up, man, to be a fan-friendly guy at 135. A blood and guts type of fighter. You know what I mean? I seen Casamayor. No, he beat Casamayor as a matter of fact at 135. Knocked him out. But that style was perfect to beat Casamayor, you know what I mean, being the aggressive fighter. I think, Shane Mosley at 135 was a devastating puncher, you know, although he himself said that, it's hard for him to make the weight. I couldn't tell but he was also much bigger than his opponents, Mosley was brolic at 135, you know what I mean? And Marquez is not a big lightweight. Wasn't a big welterweight. He looked diminutive really as a welterweight. When he was fighting guys like Mike Alvarado was big as shit on Marquez in his last fight of his career. You know what I mean? But that's at 147. At 135, Marquez was good. I think personally that's the weight class where he got uh, his highest recognition and accolades in boxing. You know, where he was number two pound for pound on the planet behind Pacquiao when Floyd Mayweather came back and they fought him at that catch weight that Floyd Mayweather didn't even really make. Um, it's a tough one, man. This is a very tough one. This is actually one of the hardest to me in all these tournaments that we've done. Because both guys are guys who we saw fight. These are not guys we went back to look at film on. You know, two great fighters. Marquez, a great counter puncher. Shane Mosley is speed and power. The counter punching, timing beats speed. You know what I'm saying? But also, I think Shane Mosley could engage Marquez into a brawl, kind of like what he did with De La Hoya in the first fight. You know what I mean? You know, De La Hoya I thought could have boxed more easier, like how he boxed Trinidad, and I thought he could have won that fight, but he engaged into a machismo type of thing, and I think Marquez will also be into a machismo type of thing with Shane Mosley. You know what I mean? California versus Southern Mexico, and well, of course, not Southern Mexico, but Mexico, and of course, um, Marquez, you know, he started in America fighting in the Forum in Los Angeles. So if the fight is in LA, man, it's gonna be a war, man. It's gonna be a bloodbath. And I think if from the film that I have in my mind in my memory bank of Marquez at 135, if he fights the man Shane Mosley the way he fought at 135, I think Mosley will hurt him bad. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I think he'll hurt him bad. Look, I'm not comparing Shane Mosley to Floyd Mayweather, and sure enough, that fight wasn't at 135. But I think if Floyd Mayweather could put Marquez on the canvas, so can Mosley. You know what I mean? You see, that's when Marquez started now getting the big money and becoming popular by being that fan friendly guy, like crowd please at 135. He was a champion at 126, unified too, but he wasn't considered like Marquez and Barrera. To me, in hindsight, when you look at their career, I think Marquez is even a greater fighter than Barrera and Marquez. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but Barrera and Morales, just off the victories he has and going up in weight classes, and also just how he ended Pacquiao, man. You know, that right there, Barrera and Morales, they don't have that on their resume. You know, but I think Shane Mosley at 135 undefeated, you know, just a monster. And if the man was even draining himself and wasn't even was struggling to make weight, what he was doing to his opponents, because he was naturally much bigger, I think he does the same to Mosley, and I think he wins probably on stoppage, man. I think he wins probably. And Marquez got a jaw; he don't get knocked out or stopped. But Mosley was that dude at 135, and I think even if people say he ain't fight nobody, you know, it's not because he ain't want to fight nobody. I made a video, go watch it. People they didn't want to fight him. They got their career high paydays to fight
True.
Mosley. They refused him because they knew this guy's a little too dangerous. And I think he wins via 12th round stoppage. Marquez on his feet. No stop, no Marquez on laying on his back or nothing, no face down on the canvas. I think he gets stopped on the feet from accumulation. And also I think Nacho Beristain, his coach would probably, they'd probably just stop the fight. It's too much, too much. He went to war with Juan Baby Bull Diaz. Juan Baby Bull Diaz ain't no Shane Mosley size neither. You know what I mean? And same Baby Bull Diaz is just got a good, very good inside game. But I seen what's his name? Nate Campbell neutralized that. So I think the guy will win this fight, Shane Mosley. 12th round stoppage on Juan Manuel Marquez feet. That's how I see it. All right, ladies and gents, that's round one, man. I think we actually finished round one. Okay, we got Roberto Duran beating Ray Boom Boom Mancini. We got Pernell Whitaker beating Ken Buchanan. We got Bonnie Ross beating Joel Casamayor. Um, Joe Gans versus Castillo. We had Castillo advancing. That's the big upset, the first round upset that we have. Uh, We got Ike Williams beating Edwin Rosario. We have what's that? 7 and 10. Henry Armstrong demolishing Vasil Lomachenko. Bad matchup style, man. Vasil Lomachenko got thrown into torture of death, chamber of death. Okay, and then we have Shane Mosley with the upset, close upset, number 9 versus HC beating Juan Manuel Marquez. Alrighty, let's keep it moving. We're going to the quarterfinals right about now, and we have Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone, Manos de Piedra, undisputed at 135 versus IBF champion at lightweight, Sugar Shane Mosley. How you see that, Chris?
Woo, good fight, good
Yeah,
fight, good fight.
absolutely.
Both gonna come looking for the knockout, but I got Duran. I got Duran beating him up in this fight.
Ah.
Got Duran beating up. I got Duran beating up Mosley in this fight. I got Duran stopping Mosley.
Stop it, Mosley. Woo!
Yeah.
Shane Mosley's a big boy.
Duran damn middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
In between, but I got Duran stopped him in round 9.
Ninth round stoppage. Chris Cabam places his vote. How you see it, Chris Cabam? I'm sorry, Charlie Brown.
I'm trying to remember how many fights Roberto Duran had at lightweight. It was probably double the amount that.
Yeah, I think he was in the 70s. He was like, was he 70-1? 70 wins and 1 loss. Only loss, and he avenged that to that guy from, what was he, Puerto Rican? What was the guy's name? Yeah, Esteban de Jesus. A guy who had dropped. He had dropped Roberto Duran at least twice in the 3 times they fought.
And the guy, the Jesus was one of the best lightweights of all time on this. Some lists I was playing too. He was in the top 15.
Yeah, he was a good fighter.
So I got, yeah. I mean, for me, it's the defense of Roberto Duran as well.
Mm-hmm.
When coming forward, he had great defense. Very underrated for his defense, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna destroy Mosley, man. I'm not being funny. Mosley was a killer, but I think the lack of, I know what you're saying. Nobody wanted to fight him, but he didn't fight anybody anywhere near Roberto Duran, man. Too much pressure. He just had too much at lightweight. I got the Hands of Stone knocking him out cold. I got a 10th round KO though.
10th
round.
round.
10th round KO. I think Mosley was durable enough, if you know what I'm saying, to survive. But I reckon Mosley's gonna have to get off the canvas maybe 3-4 times before the final shutdown in round 10. I got Roberto Duran knocking him out. KO round 10, man.
10th round KO. Count it out. Gets a 10 count. Shane Mosley will lose to Roberto Duran. We got Charlie Brown placing his vote. Okie doke. How do I see it? I got also Duran winning as well, you know. I think in the pocket, his defense is almost like James Tourney. You know, slipping punches, counter punching. No, doesn't have to move his feet so much. His defense was airtight in the 70s when he was at lightweight. You know what I mean? Of course, he's a hard hitter, and I think his left hooks. You know, he has better defense than the man Shane Mosley for sure. You know what I mean? Shane Mosley to me never had defense. Come on, just watch that fight with Winky Wright, the first fight, man. I know Winky Wright at southpaw, and that's at 154, but Shane Mosley, man, just doesn't have head movement, man. Watch them fights with De La Hoya, especially the 12th round. They just trading shots. You hit me, I hit you. No head movement, and you can't do that with Duran, man. You're going to get hurt bad. You're going to get your eyes busted up, man. You're going to get hurt bad. And I think Duran at 135 is just an all-time great, one of the best ever. Um, and I think Shane Mosley, the speed and power would be matched with tight defense and even better power than Shane Mosley at 135. And this time Shane Mosley ain't gonna be that like fighting much smaller guys, you know what I mean? I think Duran is a full-fledged lightweight, and I think Duran wins this fight probably. I think it goes the distance. I think I'll give Shane Mosley the benefit of the doubt because he don't get stopped. I've only seen him get stopped twice. Once was against Anthony Mundine. He said his back is hurt, and the very last fight of his career. You know what I mean? Um, I think Duran will win this fight on points. Um, a wide decision, probably 11 rounds to 4. Shane Mosley will win some rounds because basically some sympathy rounds because he's gonna stand also in the pocket and also bang back and just you know he's gonna show he's also a tough guy. But at the end he can't do that for 15 rounds. He's gonna have to back up, and that's gonna give the man Duran more time to get busy and dissect him and just chop him down. You know what I mean? So I give it to Roberto Duran on points, unanimous decision. All right. The next round we got Jose Luis Castillo from Mexico versus Carlos Ortiz from Puerto Rico. How you see this one, Chris? I'm not even looking ahead at the matchups. I'm just looking at them. I say them when I say them. That's when I look at them. You know what I mean? 'Cause-
Matchup was a good matchup though.
yeah. Mhm.
I think I don't know. This is a hard matchup. So I'm going by style based matchup. I'm going for the Hall of Fame. I'm going by style based matchup. How rate you.
Yeah. You sound a little muffled.
Can you hear me good now?
Perfect.
I say I'm going by what I see, how I see each opponent fight, watching their fights.
Yeah.
This shit is hard.
Yeah.
It's basically a physical fight, but I'm gonna go with Carlos Ortiz a little bit. He can do both. He can brawl, he can box.
Mhm.
I got Ortiz winning, not by no knockout though.
Yeah.
I got it might be a split decision.
True indeed.
Cause this shit could go either way.
Mhm. Split decision. How many rounds you give to Ortiz?
Shit. Oh man, I don't know. Oh shit. It's a hard fight. I knew this fight was gonna happen though.
I ain't see it coming. I just seen it right now as I'm read it out.
Damn, I got 9 rounds and 6. I'm gonna go with 9 rounds to, or 8 rounds to 7. I don't know.
Close fight, split decision, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely, man. Chris Caban lays down his vote. Got Carlos Ortiz advancing. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
I got it the same. I got unanimous decision though for Carlos Ortiz, and I got it 10 rounds to 5. I think that what separates the two, it is kind of a pick and fight, and we're going off like Chris said, we're going off what we've seen. Just the difference though in offense between. I mean, even Floyd was still offensive when he fought Castillo, don't get me wrong. But by then he was adopting, the shoulder roll. You know what I mean? And lightweight. That's when he made the transition in my mind, anyway, from what I remember. I got Carlos Ortiz can do it. He's just too multi-dimensional, man. He can brawl, he can fight on the inside. He can box.
Yeah.
I think the rounds where sometimes the only thing that separates them, the output in punches. Carlos had a way higher output than Castillo.
Yeah.
Castillo he had a high output against certain opposition.
But he's looking for the perfect punch.
The opposition was good. He would have like little spurts of punches, and I think those times there where he's thinking about what he's gonna do, Carlos Ortiz is gonna punish him, man. And I don't see any knockouts, any knockdowns, any standing eights, anything like that. But I got a unanimous decision. I got it 10 rounds to 5 for Carlos Ortiz.
10-5, Carlos Ortiz, unanimous decision. Okie doke. Charlie Brown places his vote. I guess I'm the tiebreaker. I think. This is a tough one, man. You know, Jose Luis Castillo is a guy who, at 135, he was damn good, man. You know what I mean? Very good, you know. I think he was beating Corrales. He was beating Corrales till he got caught. His left hooks are mean, you know, but he's not as active as the man Carlos Ortiz, you know what I'm saying? So he might be looking for the perfect punch while Carlos Ortiz is picking up points round by round. I think Carlos Ortiz is also going to be switching it up. He's going to be boxing on the back foot, giving the man Jose Luis Castillo different looks. Jose Luis Castillo will not be going backwards whatsoever during the fight. He will take punishment to give punishment, but I think he will get outboxed. And also, when he's being too aggressive, looking up for them mean left hooks, he'll be caught with straight right hands down the pipe. You know what I'm saying? The body shots. Carlos Ortiz was a good pressure fighter as well, and also, you know, the accumulation. And I think he wins this fight also on points. You know what I mean? I think he wins a close fight. You know, like a 9 rounds to 6 type of fight. You know, Castillo, the type of rounds he'll win. You know, he'll win rounds where he's applying pressure, getting on the inside, a phone booth type of fight. You know, throwing the body shots, the left hooks to the liver, Julio Cesar Chavez style, the left hooks to the head. But then the man will back up. Carlos Ortiz, give him some space. Let this guy try to follow him, and he'll be peppering him with the jab, straight right hand down the pipe, and different combinations, you know what I mean? 1-2 left hook. Jab to the stomach, overhand right. Just different combinations, punch variety. I'll give it in favor of the man Carlos Ortiz. I think he advances via a unanimous decision, 9 rounds to 6, but a close, tough, rough and rugged fight where Jose Luis Castillo will even get props. You know, this is a Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry. You know, they don't like each other. You know what I mean? But I think the Puerto Rican fans will also give Castillo a lot of credit, and you know, they'll give him props and say this man came to fight. You know what I mean? He'll, even in a loss, he'll win over a lot of fans. That's how I see Castillo winning this fight going. Carlos Ortiz advances. All right, next round. We got number 2 seed, Pernell Whitaker, Hall of Famer. Just like most of these guys on this list, Hall of Famers. Number 2, Pernell Whitaker. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Pernell Whitaker versus Homicide Hank. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm glad I ain't going first. Woo. How you see this for Chris Caban?
Man, I'm going with Homicide Hank, man.
Oh!
I'm going with Homicide Hank. I don't think that he ain't going to make Homicide. He might make a miss for a little while, but he ain't going to be making a miss a whole hell of a lot.
Uh-huh.
I think Homicide Hank going to damn overwhelm him, and he ain't going to stop Pernell. Pernell Whitaker, he'll fight a little bit. He's going to try to hold. But I got Hank beating him up, man.
Mm-hmm.
I got Hank beating him up. I got Hank by winning the YUD, too.
Oh, shit. YUD.
Yeah. He ain't going to be the boss and hang like that and keep him on the outside. Hell no. Hank strong. Hank going to be throwing over 100 punches. No, I don't see him doing it.
Yeah, this is going to be a bad matchup for both guys, but I see what you're saying. I can see that happening. So you got it, a YUD for Homicide Hank. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, Chris is being respectful to Pernell, man. Pernell's not seeing that final bell, G.
Oh.
I was going to go with a knockdown, Charlie, but Pernell Whitaker was one of my favorite fighters. So
He's one of my favorite fighters as well. I think the first fight I ever see boxing was him at the Olympics, you know, 1984. That was the very first fight I ever watched boxing.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know, he's he's good, and he's one of my favorite fighters as well, man. I got mad respect for him. My only problem with him, though, when he would, showboat with the defense and everything, he never made this guy pay. Very rarely did he make the guy pay after the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my thing. You got Henry Armstrong smothering you, not giving you any punching room, pushing you back onto the ropes. I'm gonna cut off the ring, and when them hands land, man, them hands were like sledgehammers, man. Like I said, if this was at featherweight, I would have given it to Pernell Whitaker because Henry Armstrong was mad slow. He wasn't developed as he was at lightweight. He was a damn killer, man. And I've boxed before. I've trained fighters before. That's that usually when they come up from featherweight to like lightweight,
Mm-hmm.
lightweight's a killer division. I know it's only 3 kilogram difference, but it makes a big difference, man. That power is going to be too much for Pernell, and I got Henry Armstrong stopping Pernell Whitaker, man.
Ooh.
I reckon, yeah. TKO though, not a cold KO, but TKO. But I got it about around 10. I think he'll start to figure out Pernell Whitaker after 3 rounds. Definitely Pernell Whitaker's going to win the first 3, make him miss, make him look stupid, almost get the crowd's attention, all of that. But I think from round 4 to round 10, he's just going to smother him. He just had a way of sticking to people like glue, man, literally. And he was like a pit bull, man. He was like a pit bull on the inside. I'd see him stopping him, TKO, round 10.
True indeed. 10th round stoppage for Henry Hammering Hank Armstrong over Pernell Whitaker. Okay. I'm just going to be... look, man, I love Pernell Whitaker. He's one of my favorite fighters. I like him and Hagler. They're my all 2-time favorites. I think Pernell Whitaker can box, I think... I've seen him fight pressure fighters. I'm not going to say Jose Luis Ramirez is on the same caliber as Henry Armstrong. But I just think Pernell Whitaker can, I think he can outbox Henry Armstrong for a certain amount of rounds, but it's going to be hard to win a 15-rounder with this type of guy's aggression, you know what I mean? And not to mention Henry Armstrong he's a strong fighter, you know what I mean? I think he's stronger than Pernell Whitaker. He's going all the way up to middleweight, 160. In those days, they didn't have no junior weights in between. I mean, going from 147 to 160, a fight that I thought he won versus the Filipino Seferino Garcia. So it's going to be tough for Pernell to win this fight. I will be rooting for him. I think he can make it close. I think he's going to go the distance. He ain't going to get knocked out, but it's just too much pressure, man. And it's all going to be all about ring generalship, and I think Pernell Whitaker will hold his own in the rounds that he wins. But I think overall, I think he'll hit the canvas, and that's going to be actually the difference. Henry Armstrong got over 100 knockouts. Over 100 knockouts. Those guys, if any man got over 100 knockouts, they ain't no joke. And I think Pernell will hit the canvas, and I think that'll be the difference in a split decision victory for the man, Homicide Hank. You know what I mean? I think he wins this fight. Close fight, but I think he does drop the man Sweepy probably in the early rounds. In rounds where Sweepy was winning, like Charlie Brown probably said, the first few rounds he's winning, then he gets dropped, and now it changes the whole direction of how the fight will go, because now Pernell will be more cautious. You know what I mean? He might be hurt, trying to clear his mind and trying to shake off the cobwebs. And Hammer and Hank is just accumulating rounds, you know what I mean? So I'll give it to Homicide Hank as well. Split decision victory, 8 rounds to 7. The difference will be the knockdown. Armstrong will not hit the canvas, and the judges will give it in favor of Homicide Hank to advance. I love Sweepy, but I'm sorry. I had to do it. All right. Final round of the quarterfinals. We got Barney Ross versus Ike Williams. Two old school guys. You know what I'm saying? Two old school guys. What the deal? Finks Art of Boxing in the chat. Big up, big up. Thanks for coming through. And Tony Reviews in the chat. I forgot to read his chat. Thanks for coming through. So here we are. Number 3, Barney Ross versus the number 6 seed, Ike Williams.
Man, I ain't Williams getting ready to beat the fuck out of Bonnie Ross.
Okay. Okay. How you see it?
I see a stoppage on this one.
Yeah.
I think it's just a wrong matchup for him. He ain't like Casamayor. This dude can box, and also he got power too.
Yeah.
I
He's
think
an
he can
inside
catch Bonnie
fighter.
Ross. I think he's gonna stop Bonnie Ross in round 7.
Ike Williams, 5'9.5". Ike Williams versus I think 5'7". Bonnie Ross. How you see it, Charlie?
I've got it. Ike Williams, man. Barney Ross has done well to get to this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is where he goes home, man. You know. Ike Williams just got too much in every department, man.
Yeah.
Compared to Barney Ross, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I see Ike Williams knock him out early, man. Round 3.
Whew. Third round knockout for Ike Williams. Charlie Brown places his vote. What round you had it, Chris? Stoppage?
I remind me about 7.
7, okay. All right, you got 2 for Ike Williams, man from down south, from Georgia. Champion in the 40s versus, 2. These are Hall of Famers, man. These are Hall of Famers we talking about. And, I think Ike Williams wins this fight, you know what I mean? I think he's a stronger guy on the inside. You know what I mean? He's country strong. He's from down south. Got a lot of aggression, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say race is going to play into it. But look, man, the Jewish crowd, they're going to be supporting the man, Barney Ross. The man, Ike Williams, hey, man, he's from down south. He's gone through a lot of Jim Crow stuff and all that type of stuff. And he's going to bring his aggression to the New Yorker, you know what I mean? And he's just going to be all up in his grill, chest on his head. Head on his chest. And he ain't going to give this guy, Barney Ross, any room to breathe. Barney Ross will try to fight with him on the inside, but it's going to almost look like Sandy Sadler versus Willie Pep. You know what I mean? Willie Pep, the boxer, but Willie Pep tried to stand in there and fight the man, Sandy Sadler, man. And, look, man, I've seen Barney Ross fights, you know what I mean? Jimmy McLaren and these kind of guys. Tony Canzaneri. Man, they not messing with Ike Williams. Ike Williams was like a modern day fighter as far as his build. You know what I mean? 5'9" lightweight. I think it's curtains for Barney Ross, man. And I also see a stoppage. Probably, I think he wears him down by the 12th round. You know what I'm saying? I think Barney Ross going to fight with a lot of pride. But Ike Williams is going to give him a battering. It's going to look like something like Miguel Cotto versus Paulie Malignaggi. Like Malignaggi gave a good effort, even with his face all swelled up, jaw broken, face all mutated. But with all that being said, I think the doctors in the corner stopped the fight because he's taking unnecessary punishment. So 12th round stoppage for the man Ike Williams. Would Barney Ross win some rounds? Probably not. I don't see him winning no rounds. I think it's going to be a beating from pillar to post from round 1 through 12. Okie doke. We got Ike Williams advancing. Barney Ross, I'm sorry, all-time great fighters. Hey, man, it's just the luck of the draw, man. How you get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? All right, so Ike Williams advances. So we now on to the semifinals. We have Roberto Duran versus Carlos Ortiz. How you see that one, Chris?
Well, Ortiz, you did good enough to get here. Well, you gotta go back to PR this time. I got Roberto Duran winning.
Panama versus Puerto Rico. Panama take pride in their boxers. They have a rich boxing culture and history. You know what I mean? The WBA, that's where the WBA headquarters is at.
I got him winning. Rounds to 6.
9 rounds to 6. So
Yeah,
unanimous decision.
yeah.
Chris Caban lays down his vote. He gives it up to the man Roberto Duran. Unanimous decision over fellow Puerto Rican Carlos Ortiz. How you see it, Charlie Brown?
I see. I think Roberto Duran stopping him, man, in round 12.
Mm.
I think it will be. I may even. I'd say coming into that round 12. I'd probably have Carlos Ortiz ahead. 6-5 on the scorecard. Some miraculous way he manages to outbox Duran for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, Duran starts to figure him out. Like you said as well, great defense in the pocket as well as the offense. I think the two of them, both Hispanic as well. I like Puerto Rican fighters. I like Panamanian fighters as well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially those two places because they're more or less like the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Both Caribbean. But I think there's going to be a lot of pride and no disrespect to Carlos Ortiz. I think he came from the background of the two of them. Roberto Duran coming from some real poverty, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that might make a difference in this fight. I got Roberto Duran stopping him in round 12.
12th round stoppage. Okay. Charlie Brown places his vote. Roberto Duran, 12th round stoppage over Carlos Ortiz. I also agree with y'all, man. I think Duran wins this fight. I think this fight, if it happened, would have happened in real life. They from different eras. Duran from the 70s. Ortiz was from the 60s. I think if this fight happened, it would be a fight we'd be talking about till this day as far as Panama versus Puerto Rico. Like I said, both countries take pride in their boxers, you know what I mean, and they rich boxing culture and history. And wherever it's at, I think it would be a fight. Like I said, we'd be still talking about it till this day. You know what I mean? And I think that the man, what's his name, Roberto Duran. You know, I think he'd be in the pocket slipping punches, you know what I mean? Throwing left hooks, digging to the body, you know what I mean? And I think Carlos Ortiz would be definitely um, have the quicker hands and also the, what you call it, the punch volume, you know what I mean? But I think in between those punches, Manos de Piedra is going to catch him with crippling shots, you know what I mean? And those shots, the harder, more telling punches, will be going in favor of the man um, Roberto Duran. You know what I'm saying? I think Carlos Ortiz will do well in some rounds, but overall, I don't think he's going to withstand Roberto Duran's massive power punching at 135 for 15 rounds. You know what I mean? Or however long it goes. And I think he has more tools to his arsenal, Roberto Duran. Slipping punches on defense, you know what I'm saying? Counter punching, you know what I mean? And just catching him with crippling shots, some left hooks to deliver. And he's just more aggressive and more mean hearted, you know what I mean? And it's gonna take, neither guy will want to lose. It's Panama versus Puerto Rico, but I think Roberto Duran will advance. He beats the man Carlos Ortiz. He ain't gonna stop him, in my opinion. I think it goes the distance. Um, I think probably like a 9 rounds to 6. I think the 6 rounds Ortiz will win will be from the volume punching and maybe Duran not really getting clean shots on the man Ortiz. You know what I mean? Because of the accumulation coming his way, but it ain't gonna last for too long. And I think Duran gonna figure him out and is gonna have start making this guy miss and catch him with hard punches, flush mean lead right hands, left hooks, jab to the stomach, overhand rights. And I think Duran wins this fight via close unanimous decision, but 9 rounds to 6. Okay, so Duran beats the Puerto Rican great fighter Carlos Ortiz, two fellow Hall of Famers. Already, next round we have Henry Armstrong. Hammering Hank versus Ike Williams. A 1930s lightweight in Henry Armstrong versus a 1940s lightweight in Ike Williams. Ike Williams, how you see this fight going?
This is probably one of the hardest matchups I had to pick, too.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think Ike Williams would put. I think Ike Williams can possibly win this matchup, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him putting on with that being 5'9" and long like he is and the way he boxes. I can see him catching Henry Armstrong with something and put him on the damn canvas.
Mm.
But I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a hard fight. But I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in it.
Mm-hmm.
I got Ike Williams winning.
Ooh, Ike Williams. How you see him winning?
I'm gonna gotta win by split decision.
Okay. Split decision.
Huh? Yeah, split decision, man. I didn't even want to do this fight though. I knew this shit was about to happen though.
I like the fight a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Ike upsetting him though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know if it'll be an upset like that because Ike Williams can fight.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Well, let me. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Charlie. Chris Caban put it down.
Yeah.
He put his vote out.
Well, this was the same like when I did my one. Once you get Henry Armstrong against somebody 5'9",
Yeah.
even 5'8.5", 5'10", with a 68-inch reach, 70-inch reach, he's in problems, man. This is gonna be hell for Henry Armstrong, man. I got Ike Williams knocking him out, man.
Ooh.
I got it. I got it a 14th round KO. I do think they'll be split on the cards, 7 apiece, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Going in. Sorry, round 15 knockout. Sorry, I got them 7 rounds apiece. But I think Ike Williams will figure him out. It just the height difference, man, and the reach as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's I think also as well when he comes to smother him, Henry Armstrong, I gonna throw an uppercut, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no way he's just gonna let him. He's either gonna clinch and turn him around, but I think also there's gonna be an uppercut as well. I see him do it as well, where people would lunge in and leap in, throw the uppercut down the pipe, and that's how I see Henry Armstrong getting knocked out as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how the uppercut that actually knocks him out.
14th round, you said?
I'm gonna say 14. Actually, I'll stick with that. Round 14. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can dig it,
I
man.
do think the head movement that Henry Armstrong developed some head movement at lightweight, but he wasn't quick enough. Ike Williams is quicker than was quicker than Henry Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing about Armstrong. As good as he wasn't very quick on his feet, and that's going to be the difference, man.
Okay.
And I'd probably have I wouldn't have it. I'd probably, even though it would go that long due to the durability of Henry Armstrong, I'd probably have Ike Williams probably winning the majority of the rounds up until round 14 as well.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to outbox him, and he's going to start to coast, and I think he'll just wear him down, he'll knock him out. So it's not really hard. On paper, you look at it, you think, damn, it's a hard one to pick.
Yeah,
Really.
mostly by name. I think people think it's an easy fight for Armstrong by name because of the name.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people be doing in these tournaments, people. That's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah, it's when I do my tournaments as well, that's one thing I factor in is the attributes as well, everything, because you can't just go off name and reputation at all. Henry Armstrong will get knocked out, man. Round 14. Ike Williams advances.
Okay, I can dig it, man. Charlie Brown puts down his vote. Round 14 stoppage for Ike Williams. Well, this one is one of those, man. Styles make fights, man, and I think this is a bad matchup for Homicide Hank. 5'9" versus a 5'5" guy. I think Henry Armstrong. He ain't as quick as far as the combinations than what's his name, than Ike Williams. You know what I mean? But I definitely know the man hits harder. Henry Armstrong got over 100 KOs in his life. You know what I mean? But he be having them leaping left hooks too. You know, I don't think you should be doing leaping left hooks versus a tall guy. I'm saying, yeah, I mean, you do them leaping left
That's
hooks
why I
versus
said
a
he
tall
gonna hit
guy.
the canvas too.
Yeah, you reaching. You know what I mean? You're actually reaching. You wouldn't do no leaping left hooks versus a shorter guy. You know what I'm saying? But when you're doing it versus a taller guy, like how that's why Roy Jones got away with it when he fought guys like Richard Hall, the tall Jamaican. You can do it against a guy who might not have skill set like yours, but Ike Williams, I think, has a comparable skill set to Henry Armstrong, and I think the inside fighting, the phone booth fighting, and like Charlie Brown said, that uppercut. I think from the film I've seen on Ike Williams, I think that was his best punch, the left uppercut. It almost looks like a left hook, like Sandy Sadler, left uppercut kind of hook type of jab, something that stops fighters and their opponents. And I could see Henry Armstrong leaping in, left hook, and he gets caught with that left hook. You know what I'm saying? By Ike Williams. You know what I mean? I think Ike Williams is a better combination puncher, especially on the inside. Henry Armstrong, he throws combinations too, but more trying to finish you. You know what I mean? Trying to end you, as opposed to the man Ike Williams who's throwing combinations throughout the fight, punching volume, output. He's just got the kind of energy and stamina to keep going. You know what I mean? And do that throughout the fight. And I think it's going to be a close fight, man. I think it's going to be an inside fight. I don't think so much. What's his name? Ike Williams will be trying to pump the jab, keep Henry Armstrong on the outside. I think it's going to be a warfare on the inside. But I think Henry Armstrong will get caught with a lot of punches. You know what I'm saying? Especially the uppercut. Uppercuts work perfectly for a tall guy and also for a short guy like Tyson catching the bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? Or a tall guy waiting for the shorter guys to come in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when Lennox Lewis would fight these other the smaller heavyweights, even bigger guys, but he had that vicious uppercut. You know what I mean? And I think Henry Armstrong will be catching plenty of those, followed by some clubbing overhand rights, and he'd be on the inside, chest on, head on his chest, but probably not letting his hands go as much as on the inside like a Ike Williams would. Styles make fights. I know Henry Armstrong is rated as a greater overall fighter as far as what he's done in his career accolades, but I think in this particular fight, the 6-year reigning champion at lightweight, Ike Williams, he ain't no joke. I think he wins this fight as well, you know what I mean? And I got him winning a close split decision. I think Henry Armstrong would make a great fight. I think 8 rounds to 7, and possibly some knockdowns. You know what I mean? Possibly some knockdowns. With both fighters might hit the canvas. You know what I'm saying? I think both fighters might hit the canvas, but it would be a close fight. But the knockdowns will make a difference. I think they'll even out. And 8 rounds to 7 victory, split decision for the man Ike Williams from Georgia. All right, so that's it for the semifinal, man. Now we on to the final, dogs. We on to the final. And in this final, we have Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone, versus Ike Williams from Georgia. 1970s lightweight undisputed versus 1940s undisputed lightweight. How y'all see it? How do you see it, Chris? This is the final, ladies and gents. Dan, I can't hear you, bro. You sound far.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I say I got this as another pick'em fight. This is tough before, man. Because I'm looking at the real fights you are trouble guys.
You sound a little muffled.
Hold on. Let me fix my shit. Hold on for a second.
All right. We're in the finals, ladies and gents. Hit that thumbs up. B Marsh Boxing. Big ups to the panel. Charlie Brown, Chris Caban, We here talking that live boxing quarantine tournament. You know what I mean?
Y'all hear me now?
Absolutely perfect.
I said, this is another pick'em fight for me, man. Because I think like Duran, he had trouble with guys like Esteban de Jesus, and I'm factoring in everything. Cause damn, Ike Williams was a beast, man. Ike Williams 5'9", lanky guy, he could fight.
Yeah.
But I'm going with I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench. I know they got him at the best at lightweight, but I think Ike Williams gonna win.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Ike Williams, how you see him winning?
I got him winning split. He gonna hit the canvas though. He gonna hit the. I got a split decision, bro. I got Ike Williams outlasting him though.
15 rounder.
Yeah, 15 round.
Okay. How you see him winning? How many rounds in the split decision?
Probably. Don't get mad. I got 8 to 7.
8-7. I could dig it, man.
That's a hard fight for me to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How you got it, Charlie?
I got it split decision, 8 rounds to 7, but I got it for the hands of stone, man.
Okay.
For me, the thing that separate them, the speed. For me, I got to be real. They were both quick, both very quick, but Duran's quicker. Also, I feel that we're in the pocket exchanges. I'd have to favor Duran, man. Also with an output of high volume of punches as well. Ike Williams had power and height and reach. However, the punch output against guys, the pressure fighters, ones that were quick, put it that way, wasn't as good as, and them guys weren't as good as Duran.
Yeah.
I got to go with Duran. I don't see, for some reason, I don't see either fighter hitting the canvas though. I see it very tight. I see it like 1 round apiece, like one of them fights. Like 1 round, Ike Williams is outboxing him, keeping him at long range, busting him up on the inside every now and then. But then I'd see, second round, say for example, Duran in the pocket, moving his head, making Ike Williams miss and punish him to the body and head. I just got Roberto Duran edging it, man. 8 rounds to 7. It might even be a split decision, actually.
Yeah.
8 rounds to 7 for Duran.
That's how Chris got it, but the other way. Chris split decision for Ike Williams. So Charlie Brown gives a split decision, 8 rounds to 7 for Roberto Hands of Stone Duran. Whew, this is a tough one, ladies and gents. We down to the final, man. Somebody got to take home the trophy. Will it go back to Panama? Will it stay in Georgia? Let's find out, man. I'm the tiebreaker on this vote. Oh, Lord. Obviously, I've seen more Duran fights than I've seen Ike Williams. I'll keep it tall with y'all. You know what I mean? I've seen Ike Williams. No way I'd put him on the list if I had never seen him fight. But this is a tough one, I think Ike Williams could be winning this fight. He'll be winning the fight. It'll be a tough, rough and rugged fight. I think he'll win a lot of points from the accumulation. I think he has the more, not so much the speed, but the punch output, and just left and right hooks, overhand rights over the top. You know what I mean? He's just going to be on top of Duran. But Duran is comfortable fighting in the pocket. And I think, what's his name? Ike Williams, sooner than later, will probably get a little tired in the pocket, and that's when Duran going to start chipping away. You know what I'm saying? He's going to start chipping away and, holding the man, you know what I'm saying? Throwing some sneaky low blows in there, you know what I'm saying? Holding the man, not trying to let him let them combinations go, you know what I mean? And I think Duran will eventually even catch the man while he's letting all them combinations go. Duran's going to time him, you know what I mean? He will be losing rounds, Duran, by the point he catches the man what's his name, Ike Williams. You know what I mean? And I think he might hurt Ike Williams, possibly even hurt him. Ike Williams will get back on his feet, try to clear the cobwebs, and it's going to be an inside fight. But Duran is just going to be chipping away. He's going to feel like, you know, he's figured this guy out, and now he got him where he want to. You know what I mean? And the punch output will decrease, in my opinion, as the rounds go on for Ike Williams, and Duran's just going to land them crippling shots, the body shots, more eye-catching shots, flush right hands, lead right hands, kind of like how when he put Davy Moore on the back seat of his pockets. And I think the knockdown will be the difference in this particular fight, you know. And Duran will make a comeback, and I think he wins this fight a controversial split or a controversial split or majority decision in favor of the man Roberto Duran. You know what I mean? I think it will be a close fight, and a lot of people might think that Ike Williams was winning because of the punch output, but then there'll be the power shots, and those almost all controversial fights, especially with a boxer and a puncher. It always comes down to power punches versus the other guy who wasn't landing that many power punches, but kind of outboxing him with the jab. You know what I mean? I believe that's what would have happened with Canoli and Kovalev, and I believe the judges would have gave it to Canoli, even though I had Kovalev up on points, a point or two. I think about 2 points by the time he got stopped. If it went to the distance, I think the power shots from Canoli, who wasn't throwing no jabs really, is what the judges would have favored in favor of Canoli, and we'd be sitting there if it went 12 rounds. Oh shit, man, Kovalev won that fight. That shit was controversial. I think that just like Floyd Mayweather and Castillo, the first one, you know. But I think the knockdown would be the difference, but it will be a controversial fight, and a lot of people gonna think um, that the man Ike Williams won, and I think Duran will get the decision. You know what I mean? I think he'll get the decision because there'll be a knockdown, and it will come from Duran. He'll be the he ain't Duran won't hit the canvas, but Ike Williams will, and I think Duran will win the fight. Split or majority decision, 8 rounds to 7. That's how I have it, man. So it looks like we got a winner in the tournament, man. We got a winner, and that's Roberto Duran. You know, styles make fights, you know, but I think him being the taller fighter, I think the power punching, you know, I think Henry Armstrong was also a good power puncher, of course, over 100 knockouts. But I think Duran is a better power puncher and also a better defensive fighter at 135, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he has more crucial one punch type of punches that could lay a man out, Duran, and I think that's what's going to be the difference. So I think he wins this tournament, you know what I mean? 3-2 split decision, you know what I'm saying? Just like Chris Caban got it for Ike Williams, two judges, me and Charlie, we got it in favor of Roberto Duran, so I think Duran wins this tournament. Big ups to E. Woodson in the chat. What the deal, E. Woodson? How you doing, man? Thanks for coming through. He laughing at cannoli. Yeah, man. So what y'all think, man? We got a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of favor him to win the agenda though.
Yeah, obviously he's number one.
Nah, because the way he was seated.
Okay, with the guys he'd meet up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna put Duran. Go ahead, Charlie.
When you in these tournaments, it's really luck of the draw how they're seeded.
Yeah.
I randomize them,
Okay.
which makes it. You know what I mean? They just put them any which way. I randomize it about maybe once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Once I see a gentle balance, I leave it like that. But it's always the cream is always going to rise to the top. You know what I mean?
True.
It's always going to rise to the top no matter what. And unfortunate for people like for what you call them Lomachenko and people like that. But but it's
He just burned out the game with Henry Armstrong.
Yeah, he got Henry Armstrong. Pernell Whitaker lost. Who he lose to? The Henry Armstrong.
yeah.
No shame in his game.
Same thing we did the welterweight too. Took Ray
Yeah, that's a real homicide right there.
Yo, what's up, y'all?
What's up, PNC? What the deal, man?
It's been a minute.
No question, man. What's going on with you? Yeah, man, we just finished doing a lightweight tournament, a lightweight fantasy tournament.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you see the brackets on your screen. I'm not sure what you're looking at, but we had Roberto Duran, Boom Boom Mancini, Juan Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joe Gans, Luis Castillo, Carlos Ortiz, Hector Camacho, Pernell Whitaker, Ken Buchanan, Henry Armstrong, Vasil Lomachenko, Barney Ross, Joe Casamayor, Ike Williams, Edwin Rosario. You know, we got fighters from all eras, from the beginning of lightweight. Huh?
Was it Barney Ross? I never heard of him.
Oh, you never heard of Barney Ross? Yeah, he's from the 30s. 3 different weight class champion.
I heard of Edwin Redondo.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So we just concluded, man. In the final, we had Roberto Duran versus Ike Williams. You know what I mean? Duran from the 70s versus Ike Williams from the 40s. And Roberto Duran wins via split decision. You know what I mean? 2 votes for him. Me and Charlie voted for Duran to win. A split decision victory. Chris Caban picked Ike Williams. You know what I mean? Would be a great fight. There's no real winners or losers in this tournament. It's just a fantasy tournament. These fights will never happen. But it's fun doing them, especially with this quarantine thing. And just also to rate and actually give. The most fun part about doing this, fellas, to me, is putting these names out there for people on YouTube. Like PNC just said he never heard of Barney Ross. You know what I mean? Now he's heard of him. You know, there's a lot of fighters people have never heard about. And like you remember, there was some people here on YouTube, Chris Caban, like you said, they thought that they said that Ray Robinson will beat Floyd Mayweather at 147. You know what I mean? Some people might have never seen Ray Robinson, so this is just also to shed some light on great fighters. To me, that's the whole basis of doing this tournament. To me, I don't even care who wins. I mean, I'm a judge with a clean heart. You know, I'm not going to be biased to anything. For what? I ain't getting nothing out of it. But at the end of the day, it's also to educate people and also to shed some light on these great fighters and talk about them. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I mean, how many channels out there, man, is really talking about all these great fighters? What you think, Chris Caban?
I think we covered it pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Charlie, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a really good tournament, man. Clean, like you said, with a clean heart. We all judged it with a clean heart of what we've seen.
Yeah.
Coupled with what they did at lightweight and also their ability as well and the styles.
Right.
You know? Because like Ike Williams, a lot of people would have just said Henry Armstrong hands down would have beaten him, and it's like,
yeah,
no, there's a 4-inch difference in height.
Yeah.
You know, 3 inches in reach. You know?
Yeah, I think that's a bad matchup.
Prohibition era is a tougher era, man. You know, like the 10 from the First World War down to the 20s, man. Them people were tough, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Violent people. You know what I mean? At a violent time. So the people's mentality was different as well. So you when you factor in those things as well, it does make a difference, you know? Just by not just looking at their names on paper.
True indeed.
That guy was active, man.
What's that?
He was active, man. He had what like 250 fights? 254 fights?
Who did? Henry Armstrong?
154.
Yeah, all those guys had over 100 fights. Henry Armstrong got 100 knockouts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they really had to fight back then, man. I mean, they weren't getting like, like $50,000 a fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They was getting like this, a couple hundred years, and they had to fight.
Yeah, when Archie Moore won his world title, after all expenses, when he beat Joey Maxim, after all expenses, paying trainers, promoters, managers, whatever, He only took home $800. Now I know $800 in 1950 something. That was good money. I mean I don't know whether it could buy you a house or anything, you know, but $800 ain't $800 in 2020. But
I
still,
think that was for like 10,000 back then.
yeah.
Still, you know.
Yeah, man. So we got E. Woodson in the chat. Big up. He says, great chat, family. He said, yeah, that's real talk. Duran versus Ike Williams would have been a damn good fight. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, all the matchups where we come down to the final are dream fights. You know what I mean? So I'm glad everybody enjoyed this. You know what I mean? Thanks for everybody hitting the thumbs up. Big ups to PNC coming through kind of late, but it's all good. We're going to be doing plenty more of these. So if you want to participate, you in there like swimwear. You know what I mean? Big ups to Charlie Brown in the chat. I mean, on the panel. You know what I mean? Go subscribe to his channel, Charlie Brown Boxing Media. And big ups to Chris Caban. We live, eat, sleep, boxing. Any final thoughts, fellas, before we seal up?
We're gonna do the 154 tournament tonight.
154? We possibly could. Yeah, let's shut this one down and keep it. Let's do that one. All right? All right, y'all. Thanks for coming through. Big ups to everybody. What's up, Jed Kyle? Jed Kyle just got in, and he says, who did you have winning the tournament? The tournament we had, the final was Ike Williams, who was this number 6 seed, versus Roberto Duran, who's the number 1 seed. That's who ended up in the tournament final. I'm not going to tell you who won. Jed Kyle, you're a good guy. I appreciate you coming through. I suggest you just listen to the whole video. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Go ahead and listen to the whole video and you'll find out who we had winning this particular tournament. You heard? All right. E. Woodson says, I came through late, but I'm going to hit up the replay. Appreciate that, man. The replay, you're going to see how we ranked all these guys. All right. B-Marsh Boxing. Shout outs to everybody on the panel. Big ups to everybody in the chat. We're going to be coming back at you sooner than later with another quarantined fantasy tournament. B-Marsh Boxing, I'm gone. Peace.
All right. Yo, PNC.